stories where words ignite. From reports to diaries, our stories take flight. With vocabulary gems and plots so grand, we'll transport you to worlds across every land. Get ready to listen to stories to ignite your imagination.
Chapter 2. The Curious Case of the Homework Houdini. The next day dawned bright and chirpy, but for Warren, it felt more like a cryptic puzzle wrapped in an enigma draped in a riddle. He awoke with a start, as if the very bed had conspired to launch him into an alternate universe where homework was a mythical beast that roamed the land, stealing away the joy of childhood. "Blimey!" he exclaimed, his voice echoing around his room like a startled ghost. "What time is it?" He leapt from his bed, his feet barely touching the ground as he dashed to his desk. There lay his homework, a mountain of papers that had somehow multiplied overnight like rabbits in spring. But that wasn't the strangest part. No, that honour belonged to the peculiar scribbles that now danced across the pages. The math problems, which had once seemed like grumpy old men, now appeared to be taunting him with cheeky little moustaches drawn all over them. "Who did this?" Warren gasped, scanning the room as if expecting a mischievous leprechaun to pop out from under the bed, giggling uncontrollably. His mind raced. Had Boggle been at it again? Or perhaps the homework had developed a mind of its own, plotting a daring escape. He could almost hear it whispering conspiratorially, "Join us, Warren. We're much more fun when you don't actually do us." Determined not to let this peculiar mystery unravel further, Warren grabbed his pencil, ready to engage in battle, but as he took a deep breath and focused, he suddenly remembered the tale he'd heard from old Mr. Pips, the village's resident storyteller, about a mischievous spirit named Silas the Sneaky. Silas was said to haunt the dreams of children, stealing their homework and leaving behind nothing but riddles and riddled laughter. What if Silas has struck again? Warren pondered, his heart racing like a rabbit in a carrot patch. The idea was absurd, of course, but then again, so was the sight of his homework wearing a top hat and monocle. With this newfound determination, Warren decided to investigate. He donned his favourite detective cap, an old floppy thing that had seen better days, and set off on a mission, armed with nothing but his wits and a pencil that felt more like a wand of magic than a tool for solving equations. His first stop was the village square, where the bustling market was alive with chatter, clattering carts, and the sharp aroma of freshly baked pastries. Warren approached Mrs. Fiddlesticks, the local baker, who was needing "Mrs. Fiddlesticks," he started, trying to sound serious despite the giggles of a nearby group of children. "Have you seen any suspicious characters lurking about? Perhaps a cheeky spirit causing havoc with homework?" She paused, flour dusting her nose like a wintry sprinkle. "Oh, my dear Warren, if I had a penny for every time a spirit visited my bakery, I'd be swimming in jam tarts. But I did hear a strange rustling in the bushes by the old oak tree this morning. Might be worth a gander." With a polite nod, Warren thanked her and bolted towards the ancient oak, its gnarled branches reaching out like crooked fingers, beckoning him closer. As he approached, he noticed a peculiar sight, a trail of glittering confetti leading into the underbrush. "What on earth?" he murmured, his eyes wide with wonder. "Is this Silas's calling card?" Curiosity piqued, he ventured deeper into the thicket. The sunlight flickered through the leaves like a playful cat, casting shadows that danced about him. Suddenly, a rustle. Warren spun around, his heart thumping like a drum in a marching band. "Who's there?" he called, trying to sound braver than he felt. Only silence answered, thick and heavy, wrapping around him like a fog. Just as he was about to turn back, a flash of movement caught his eye. There, hiding behind the roots of the old oak, was a small, scruffy figure. It was Boggle, his trusty dog, wagging his tail like a flag of surrender, a bewildered expression plastered on his furry face. "Boggle, you scared me half to death," Warren exclaimed, bending down to scratch the little dog behind the ears. But there was something odd about Boggle today. In his mouth he clutched a piece of paper that fluttered like a trapped butterfly. "What have you got there, you cheeky rascal?" Warren asked, snatching the paper from Boggle's mouth. It was a note, written in swirling letters that seemed to shimmy and shake. Dear Warren, it began, if you wish to reclaim your stolen homework, seek the secrets beneath the stars. But beware, for not all that glitters is gold, and sometimes homework can be quite the trickster. Warren's eyes widened, a mix of excitement and dread bubbling within him. The stars? He whispered, glancing up at the sky where the sun was still high, but the promise of night lingered just beyond the horizon. He knew this was only the beginning of an adventure that would take him far beyond the realms of daydreams and right into the heart of a mystery that was just waiting to unfold. And with that thought, Warren couldn't help but smile. After all, what was homework compared to a grand adventure? With Boggle by his side, he was ready to unravel the curious case of the homework Houdini, even if it meant facing whatever mischief Silas had planned next.
Diamond stories where words ignite. From reports to diaries, our stories take flight. With vocabulary gems and plots so grand, we'll transport you to worlds across every land. Get ready to listen to stories to ignite your imagination, where each story